We've now reached the third and final lesson in the productivity module. This lesson is called Improving Productivity. In the earlier lessons, we learned how important it is to review completed tasks and try to find ways to make improvements. These are both important steps in ensuring that you're working as productively as possible. And this lesson follows on from that. It's divided into 3 separate topics. The first topic, reviewing productivity, is on the importance of reviewing how you use your current IT tools and systems. The second topic, enhancing efficiency, looks at how you can work more efficiently, productively, and economically. The third topic, creating and evaluating solutions, will show you how to create solutions and then, just as importantly, how to evaluate them. The ultimate aim, of course, is to use IT tools, systems and apps more productively. When you finish a particular task, it's good practice to review your use of IT tools to ensure you're using them as productively as possible. When reviewing how you used the various IT systems and tools, it's helpful to ask yourself 2 questions. First, ask, did I use the tools to maximum effect? Consider whether you used the tools in a way that saved time and money. Could you have worked faster or more efficiently if you had used the tools in a different way? Or, indeed, if you had used different tools altogether? Next, ask, what problems did I encounter while doing the task? Think about the disadvantages or drawbacks of the tools you used. Perhaps there was a lot of repetition or wasted effort. Could things be done better next time? For example, imagine you're the payroll manager of a company that routinely uses a lot of part-time and casual labour. Some months are very busy, with a lot of people doing a lot of hours. Other months are quieter. During busy months, in particular, it can be a real headache to keep track of who's done what, hours worked, expenses, overtime, and all spread across various different departments. At the end of every month, you're expected to produce a detailed account with all the information. And you know that there are lots of advantages and plus points to using this tool. For instance, it's easy to do quick calculations. It's easy to check for mistakes. And you can store a lot of data in a single file. You're satisfied with how you use the spreadsheet application. Overall, it's fair to say that you're using it to maximum effect. But what about problems encountered? Does everything go smoothly? Could things be done any better? Well, imagine that during each month, everyone who works for your company, full-time employees, part-time employees and freelancers, some regular and some not, send you expenses and timesheets. You need to collate all this information into a single spreadsheet. That's time-consuming. And even though you ask everyone to use the same spreadsheet application, not all do. So you have to manually enter the data, which leaves the task vulnerable to error. And although everyone is supposed to submit their sheets by a certain date, there are almost always late entries. This means going back and recalculating the final figure all over again. That's inefficient. So, even though you were generally satisfied with your use of the IT tool, your review has identified some drawbacks. There are inefficiencies of time and inefficiencies of effort. You'll have to find some solutions, won't you? This topic looked at the importance of reviewing the IT tools that you use to ensure that you're using them as productively as possible. Conducting this analysis is the only way to identify the areas that need improvement. Knowledge check. After reviewing how you use your various IT tools and applications, it's time to focus on enhancing efficiency. This involves thinking about how you can work more efficiently, productively, and economically. You already know that you could make better use of the tools. Now it's about identifying how. There are lots of simple methods and techniques you can use to enhance the efficiency with which you use IT tools and applications. Sometimes the easiest and quickest method is to search online. Just enter "how to" and whatever you want to know. You'll almost certainly find dozens of articles, blog entries, posts on forums and so on, all with the information you need. Another option is to use the help function within most IT tools or applications. Simply click on help and you'll see lots of options. You could also contact the provider of the tool and just ask. Check the website for a telephone number or email address. Finally, you could ask a co-worker. Often the real experts are those who have been using a tool or application for a while. A more experienced colleague may be able to offer invaluable tips and advice. What areas should you look at when you're trying to enhance efficiency? The short answer is everything. Specifically, though, some areas you could look at include quality, quantity, process, time and cost. No matter how well you complete a particular task, there is scope to add more quality. Everything can be improved upon. For example, can you increase the quantity of your output? Can you do more with the same resources? Often this just requires eliminating waste, so do whatever you can do to cut out wasted time, wasted effort and repetition. Streamlining the work process is a big part of enhancing overall efficiency. That means organizing things so that there's no unnecessary work or repetition. For example, use templates and shortcuts to get the job done as quickly as possible. Templates are also a great way to reduce errors to the minimum. If you develop a format or style that really works, save it and use it again the next time. Most IT tools and applications contain an array of time-saving features. These can help you do the same job, but much faster. For example, consider how much time you save by using the cut and paste function in word processing software. It's much faster than typing the text all over again, isn't it? By looking for other time-saving features and functions of the IT tools you use, you can work a lot faster and save a lot of time. There's often quite a lot of overlap between different IT tools and applications. Although it might not be its primary function, a particular tool might be able to do the job of another tool. So, do you really need to purchase both? For example, many standard office printers can also function as document scanners. So if you have a printer, you would not need to purchase a separate scanner. Often, this is also the case with IT tools, systems, and applications. This topic on enhancing efficiency explored how you could make better use of your current IT tools. The objective is to work more efficiently, productively, and economically. When trying to improve efficiency, focus on how you use your tools in terms of quality, quantity, process, time, and cost. Knowledge check. Having identified ways to enhance the efficiency with which you use IT systems and tools, it's time to create and evaluate solutions. Both components of this step are equally important. There's no point developing a solution unless you then test and confirm that it works as intended. A solution in this sense of the word is just something that stops a particular problem occurring again. For example, let's imagine you're responsible for creating an end-of-week report, charting the progress that's been made on a particular report. Each week, you write the report from scratch, even though each week's report is really just an update on the previous week. Well, obviously, that isn't an efficient way to work. What solutions can you think of that would save you time and effort? One thing you could do would be to create a shortcut on your desktop to a particular program or file that you use a lot for this report. To do this, simply right-click on an open space on your desktop, then click on New, then click on Shortcut. Then click. When you've found it, click on Open, and then on. When you've found it, click on Open, and then on Next. Then click on Browse and find the program or file that you want to create the shortcut for. When you've found it, click on Open, and then on Next. Give the shortcut a name, and then click Finish. Another thing you could create is a macro. A macro is like a shortcut. Instead of having to go through a sequence of actions or commands, the entire lot can be saved within a single macro. So when you click on the macro button, all of these actions are performed. Macros are especially useful for repetitive tasks because they save the time and effort that go into conducting these tasks. For instance, you could create a macro for the format and layout of your report. Instead of manually formatting the document every time you write a report, simply run the macro. Another option would be to customize the dictionary that is contained within your word processing tool. Sometimes, words or terms identified as being misspelt by the word processor's spell checker are not actually correct. Perhaps they are jargon or terms commonly used within your company, and so commonly used in your report. And a final option would be to create a catalogue of images or graphics. When the spell checker tells you that these words are incorrect, simply click Add to Dictionary. They won't then be marked as incorrect in the future, which will save you the time and bother of having to check them. And a final option would be to create a catalogue of images or graphics. Whenever you use an image or graphic, save them. If you ever need to use them again, you won't have to waste time searching. It's not sufficient, though, to simply come up with what you think will be the solution. You have to test it. You have to ensure that it genuinely and effectively fixes the problem. And you have to ensure, too, that it truly functions as you intended. Although sometimes it might be necessary to devise an entirely new solution, but generally some fine-tuning will sort it out. Devising and evaluating solutions to problems is a critical part of enhancing the efficiency with which you use IT systems, tools and applications. And this is a big part of improving productivity. In this topic, we learned that testing and confirming the effectiveness of a solution is just as important as devising it in the first instance. Knowledge check. You have now completed the third and final lesson in the module. The main objective of this lesson, improving productivity, was to illustrate how to use IT tools, systems and apps more productively. More productive use of your IT tools should begin with a review of how you are using these tools. Are you using them as productively as possible? If not, you need to assess your use in terms of quality, quantity, process, time and cost. This is an important step towards working more efficiently, productively and economically. The final stage involves developing solutions and, just as importantly, ensuring that these solutions are effective.